Silent Hill 2 was originally released over 20 years ago, and now it's been remastered to meet today's visual standards. Whether you're revisiting the eerie streets of Silent Hill or experiencing this psychological horror for the first time, there's plenty of unsettling moments, puzzles, and atmospheric terror waiting for you. Let's dive into the remaster and break down what to expect before I get into my final thoughts and ratings. The plot kicks off when James Sunderland receives a letter from his wife, Mary. A strange occurrence considering she's been dead for 3 years. Her letter beckons him to their special place, the fog-blanketed town of Silent Hill. But upon arrival, the once peaceful town is now filled with nightmarish creatures and disturbing events. As James works his way through puzzles and battles, he searches for the truth behind the mysterious letter from his deceased wife. Silent Hill 2 is notorious for its dark, mature themes, touching on subjects like suicide, murder, and trauma. The monsters you'll encounter are truly the stuff of nightmares. Grotesque designs that are either missing limbs or have far too many, accompanied by spine-chilling noises. For the best experience, I'd recommend playing it alone, in the dark. It really amplifies the tension and atmosphere. Silent Hill 2 doesn't overwhelm you with endless enemies, but when you do encounter them, it's an unsettling experience. Some monsters will attack with poison, while others try to bludgeon you, and a few are even armed. Luckily, James has a trusty radio that reacts to enemies nearby, giving you a moment's warning before they appear, though that doesn't mean they won't catch you off guard. While James isn't a seasoned fighter, he isn't helpless either. He comes equipped with melee weapons like a pipe and a few guns, though ammo is scarce. Most enemies will need to be taken down with a couple of well-timed swings, which adds a layer of resource management to the game. Combat is straightforward, but requires some finesse. Dodge properly and you can avoid damage altogether. And if you're wounded, you can use health drinks and syringes scattered throughout the game to recover. Silent Hill is divided into different sections, each with its own map. These maps are invaluable, as James marks down key information like locked doors, hidden passages, and puzzle details as you progress. Without the map system and James's automatic note-taking, the game would feel much more overwhelming. The puzzles in Silent Hill 2 are a core part of the experience, with varying difficulty levels. They usually involve tracking down key items, decoding symbols, or finding combinations for locks. Even on standard difficulty, they were satisfying without being overly complex, though the game does offer the option to set puzzle difficulty at the start. This affects how hard the solutions are to reach. Easier difficulties requires less thinking, like simpler math or fewer red herrings. Combat difficulty, on the other hand, can be adjusted at any time. Have you played the original or this remaster? I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. And if you're enjoying this review, be sure to subscribe for more in the future. Now, let's move on to my final thoughts and ratings. As someone who has never played the original, I can see why Silent Hill 2 left such an impact when it was first released. It's a standalone title, so you don't need prior knowledge of the first game, and it holds up fairly well for newcomers. However, while the game did manage to deliver some solid jump scares and disturbing atmosphere, I didn't feel the lasting dread I was hoping for. Compared to modern horror games, the tension didn't quite reach the level I expected, though that could be a byproduct of its age. James as a character also felt strangely passive. His lack of reaction to terrifying events around him broke some immersion for me, and at times progressing through the game felt more like following a series of random breadcrumbs rather than logical steps. For example, finding a matchbook in the street somehow led me to a crucial location, which felt a bit too coincidental. Despite these moments, Silent Hill 2 is designed in a way that keeps you from getting truly lost, thanks to its map system and puzzle notes. I spent a good portion of the game scribbling down solutions in my notepad before realizing the game had it covered for me. A nice quality of life feature that makes the experience smoother. After completing the game, you unlock a New Game Plus mode, which offers more items and multiple endings to discover. My first playthrough took around 15 hours on standard difficulty, but on subsequent runs, I was able to breeze through in an hour what took me 8 my first time through, making it easier to hunt down alternative endings. And with that, I feel like it's time we moved on to the ratings. The remaster is a significant upgrade over the original, but still feels a bit rough compared to modern standards. It's getting a 3. While the narrative had moments of intrigue, too many plot points were left unresolved, leaving me confused by the end. I'm giving it a 2. The puzzles were well designed, and the combat, while clunky at first, became manageable. Solving puzzles was definitely the highlight. That's an easy 4. With multiple endings and a New Game Plus mode, there's enough reason to replay, though redoing the same puzzles may feel repetitive. I'm feeling a 3. Despite wanting more scares, I still enjoyed the game, especially the puzzles. I'm going with another 3. Earning Silent Hill 2 a score of 3 out of 5. Landing it at the higher end of the mid-shelf. If you're a fan of the original, this remaster is an easy recommendation. If you're new to the series, you'll likely enjoy the eerie atmosphere and puzzles, though don't expect to be absolutely terrified. And if this still doesn't sound like your kind of game, check out some of my other reviews in these lists. There's bound to be something that'll suit your tastes.